The screen blinked in the quiet storage room of the planetary data hub. A low-level archivist named Tolan rubbed his tired eyes. He had just finished reviewing boring reports from mining colonies. Same numbers, same problems, broken machines, angry workers. But then, something new appeared. It was a file he didn't recognize. Encrypted, anonymous, titled Ghostfire_actual.footage. Tolan frowned. He wasn't supposed to receive off-world files, especially not through the secure galactic data line. Only military or high command officers had access to that stream. He hovered his finger over the delete key, but curiosity won. He opened it. The screen flickered, and a video began to play. The stars glowed silently in the background. Then the camera shook. Heavy blasts tore through black space. Tolan leaned closer. He saw 5 massive alien warships, each flying the flag of the Velkar Dominion, a powerful and cruel empire feared across the stars. These ships were fully armed. Their engines roared. Their weapons fired red plasma toward a single black-shaped dot. At first, Tolan didn't understand what it was. But then the camera zoomed. It was a human warship, sleek, black, and strange in design. Its markings were not standard Terran fleet codes. No visible crew. No sound. It did not move. It did not fire. It simply floated. Waiting. Then it responded. One pulse. One blinding flash of white-blue energy. And in the next second, all 5 alien warships were gone. Nothing left but drifting metal, broken hulls, and silent screams. Tolan's mouth dropped open. No, he whispered. He had never seen anything like that. He had reviewed battle footage before. He knew what real combat looked like. This wasn't fiction. This wasn't some simulation. This was real. And terrifying. Suddenly, his console buzzed loudly. Security breach detected. Report to admin. Tolan jumped back. He pressed pause on the video, but it was too late. The footage had already copied itself into backup systems, cloud storage, and even private servers. Then something even stranger happened. The footage began spreading on its own. Tolan watched in horror as the file moved, leaving his station, hopping through the galactic network like a virus. Every few seconds, another system lit up with the file name ghostfire_actual.footage, one by one. News channels, encrypted chat rooms, and public halls began showing the same image. A black Terran warship surrounded by burning wreckage. On the galactic core station, high above the planet Kiari Prime, alarms blared inside the military command center. "Sir, we have a problem," said a young officer, sweating. Admiral Rosk, leader of the Galactic Command Council, turned slowly from his command table. "What is it now?" The officer swallowed hard. "A file has been leaked. High security level. It's, a battle in Sector 9X. Rask frowned. "That region's under Velkar control. We have no ships there." The officer hesitated. "Apparently, Earth did." Rask froze. "Earth? Impossible. They were primitive, rebuilding after the collapse. Their fleets were outdated. Their alliances broken." He reached out and watched the footage on a secure line. As soon as he saw the Terran ship, the Black Ghost in space, his face went pale. He knew that ship. Or rather, he knew of it. It was supposed to be a secret. A secret. Buried 10 years ago. By morning, the entire galaxy had seen the video. Children on distant moons watched it with wide eyes. Mercenaries downloaded it for study. Scientists slowed it down, frame by frame, trying to understand the strange energy. Blast. Some thought it was a new type of plasma. Others believed it was alien tech. But one thing was clear. The human ship didn't just win. It obliterated. Tolan sat quietly in the corner of a transport ship, heading to another world. He had left his station. burned his badge, changed his name. He knew he was in danger now, but he also knew the truth needed to be seen, that he had saved the file on a small chip, just in case. Hidden near his heart, he whispered to himself, over and over, people need to know what Earth really has. Far above him, in the orbit of a dead planet, a Terran satellite flickered to life. It blinked once, and the warship seen in the footage. It wasn't finished. It was waiting. And the galaxy had only seen the beginning. Asterisk. The council room lights dimmed. Every screen showed one frozen image. A black Terran warship. Wreckage all around. No survivors. Admiral Rosk stared at it in silence. The other commanders waited. No one dared speak first. Then, at last, the Admiral spoke. Say nothing, he ordered coldly. We deny everything. But the footage is real, one junior officer whispered. Rosk's voice turned sharp. That video is fake. A human trick. A deep fake. We say it publicly, loudly, immediately. By midday, the galactic news grid was filled with the same message. Fake footage from Earth circulates across the net. Galactic Command confirms. Human warship. Footage is fabricated. A well-dressed speaker smiled on the screen. The footage is clever digital work, she said smoothly. Earth lacks the power to destroy 5 Velkar dreadnoughts. This is simply fear propaganda. She smiled, but her eyes betrayed doubt elsewhere. Not everyone was convinced. In a quiet corner of a distant military base, Lieutenant Cale Marin watched. The video in full screen, alone. He had been stationed in Sector 9X 3 years ago. He remembered the Velkar fleet. He remembered the battle, but the report said Earth had lost. No survivors. No record of a warship. But now he saw something he couldn't explain. The same battlefields, the same stars, but a different outcome. And he noticed something others hadn't. The human ship never fired first. Cale leaned closer to the screen. In the background of the footage, before the first Velkar blast, there was a soft glow. From a Terran beacon. It was a peace signal. Earth had tried to communicate. The Velkar fired anyway. The human ship had responded only after that. Cale's hands trembled. This wasn't just about power. This was about a lie. He began to dig deeper. He used old clearance codes, outdated military passwords, backdoors still active from his old patrol days. And what he found chilled him to the bone. Entire logs were deleted. Mission reports, gone. Black box data, missing. Witness reports, marked classified, never to be opened. The battle had been erased on purpose. Meanwhile, the footage kept spreading. People across the stars whispered the same question. Is Earth hiding something? The Velkar Dominion said nothing. They did not confirm or deny. Their silence made people even more afraid. Some called the ship Ghostfire. Others called it the Terran Blade. Many believed it didn't even exist, but Cale knew. It was real. And he wasn't the only one who remembered. On a broken moon near the outer rim, a scarred alien woman named Serethi Val watched the footage alone. She paused it at the exact frame where her squad's ship exploded. Tears welled in her glowing eyes. She whispered, "That's where I died." Except she hadn't. She had survived. Barely. And now she was ready to speak. The silence was breaking. One Terran ship, one destroyed fleet. And now the truth was knocking on every door in the galaxy. Galactic Command tried harder to stop the spread. Hacked feeds, deleted servers, sent agents, but the video returned again and again, like it had a mind of its own. At the end of the week, a new message appeared on the galactic net. Just 3 words. I was there. And below it, a promise. Tomorrow, I will tell you what really happened. and show you the full recording. All across space, beings of every kind stared at their screens. The warship footage had started something powerful, not war, peace. Something in between reckoning, and Earth. Was at the center of it all. Asterisk. The message arrived in the dark of night. Through official channels, not through the galactic net. It appeared in every personal inbox, every compad, and every screen at the same moment. The message was simple. I survived Ghostfire. I have the truth. And below that was a voice recording, shaky, broken, but real. I was a pilot in the Vulcar fleet, one of the 5 ships destroyed. My name is Sarithi Val, and they left me to die. Across the galaxy, people stopped what they were doing. Shops went silent. Schools paused lessons. Soldiers froze mid-drill. Everyone hit play. I remember the scream of metal, the way the stars burned white. The human ship didn't chase us. It didn't warn us. It just waited. Sarethi's voice cracked. But what they're not telling you is this: we fired first. Gasps echoed on every world. The official story had said Earth attacked, that it was a sneak assault. Now a survivor was saying Earth was the one attacked. Kale Marin, the ex-officer, listened to the voice in stunned silence. He had never heard Sarethi's name in any report. She wasn't listed among the survivors because she was never meant to be. She had been erased, just like the rest of the truth. Asterisk. I'm uploading the full battle footage, Sarethi said. Not just what command allowed you to see. The raw version. Every second. And she did. The file began to spread instantly. Bigger than before. No encryption this time. No filters. No edits. Just truth. The full video showed everything. The Vulcar fleet locking weapons first. A Terran beacon blinking peace. A commander hesitating before giving the order to fire. And finally, the black ship awakening. It didn't launch missiles. It didn't shout threats. It simply responded. Energy built around its core. Its engines flared white-blue. A hum filled the space around it. And then a single pulse. Not a beam. Not a missile. Just one ripple of energy. The Vulcar ships that had ruled wars for decades cracked open. Like eggshells. In the final frames, you could hear a faint human voice from the Terran ship. This was not our choice. But now, you'll remember us. The galaxy panicked. Protests broke out on Vulcar colonies. Some called for war against Earth. Others shouted for peace and for justice. On a quiet moon, Sarethi Val stood outside her shelter. She looked up at the stars. A news drone hovered nearby, waiting for more interviews. She waved it away. She had said enough. She had told her truth. And now, someone else had to take the next step. Back on Earth, deep in a hidden bunker, an old human general sat watching the galaxy react. His name was General Ryan Holt. He had once commanded the Ghostfire project. He thought it was buried. But now it was everywhere. He pressed a button on his desk. Screen lit up. And a familiar ship appeared. Orbiting Jupiter in silence. The Ghostfire wasn't destroyed. It wasn't even damaged. It had returned home and was waiting. I told them we shouldn't have fired first. Ryan whispered. Now they'll come looking. He wasn't afraid. Not for Earth. But for the ones who didn't know what Ghostfire truly was. Because the footage they saw, that was only its first form. Across the stars, fear turned to obsession. Everyone wanted to know, who built the ship? What power did it use? And why was it kept secret? Answers were coming, but some would not survive them. And far above it all, drifting in silence, the Terran warship sat, alive. Awake. And watching. Asterisk. The file was too deep. Buried inside a forgotten server on a frozen moon. The file had no name, no tag, no record, but it was still there, Cale Marin found it by accident digging through layers of lost data. It took him 8 hours, 5 fake IDs, and 1 illegal AI decoder. And when the file finally opened, Cale stopped breathing. It wasn't just footage this time. It was a classified report, stamped with red letters. Top secret Ghostfire incident. Do not Arieliese. Cale sat alone in the shadows of a broken data vault. The air was cold. Dust floated in the beam of his screen. He scrolled slowly. The report described everything. In clear words. Cold words. Terran vessel. Ghostfire Unit 1. Outcome: complete destruction of Velkar fleet. Cause: retaliation. Threat level: extinction. CLAS. That line echoed in Cale's mind. Extinction class. It wasn't just a ship. It was a weapon. A silent message from Earth to the galaxy. And then he saw something even worse. Ghostfire was activated after repeated peace signals were ignored. Earth's standing order: do not strike first. Strike only when survival demands it. Earth hadn't wanted war. They were pushed into it. Everything the galaxy had believed about humans, about the battle, was a lie. A well-crafted, perfectly executed lie. Cale closed the file and backed it up on a secure drive. He knew what he had to do. He had to leak it. But across the galaxy, someone else was already ahead of him. In a private room on a luxury station orbiting the bright star of Narayan 5. A young girl played a video on her wristpad. She wasn't anyone important, just a curious soul. But her account had 3 million followers. And when she uploaded the file Cale had found, it took 4 minutes to go viral. The galaxy saw the truth. Earth had sent peace signals. Earth was attacked first. Earth answered once, then stayed silent. The reaction was chaos. Angry voices filled streets. Alien governments held emergency meetings. Some leaders demanded Earth be punished for keeping Ghostfire hidden. Others demanded answers from the Velkar and Galactic Command for starting a war they covered up. At Galactic Command headquarters, Admiral Rosk stood before a shattered screen. He had smashed it in rage. The truth was out. Too many had seen it. Too many believed it. There was no way to erase it now. He turned to his inner circle. Activate Plan Red Mirror. The officers looked at each other. One dared to ask, "You mean war?" "No," Rask said coldly. "We silence Earth. Before. They speak louder." But Earth wasn't silent anymore. In a hidden room deep inside Terran Defense Command, General Ryan Holt stood before a secure broadcast line. He wore no medals, no smile, just steel in his eyes. The camera turned on. Across hundreds of worlds, screens flickered, interrupting programs, music, even court sessions. And then they saw him, a human, speaking to the stars. "My name is Ryan Holt. I was commander of the Ghostfire project. You saw what our ship can do, but you haven't seen why it exists." He leaned forward. "Earth sent a signal. You ignored it. Earth offered peace. You fired. We answered once." He paused. And said words the galaxy would never forget. Ghostfire is not Earth's greatest weapon. It is Earth's greatest warning. The signal ended. The galaxy fell into silence. No one laughed at Earth now. Meanwhile, on the edge of a dying star system, the warship Ghostfire turned slowly. Its engines hummed. Not loud, but clear. Some say Earth woke a sleeping giant. Others say Earth had never been asleep. But what was certain, now what no one could erase, was this: humanity had a power no one understood, and it had just begun to speak. Asterisk, the ship had no name. No crew. No ID, number. No voice. Just a black shape, floating through space like a shadow that had forgotten where it came from. And yet, it was feared more than any living fleet. In the back corridors of galactic spaceports, Smugglers whispered about it. In academy classrooms. Cadets asked about the black ship during lessons, but instructors pretended not to hear. In secret. Meetings, high-ranking officials argued over one question. Where is the Terran warship now? No one knew, except for one man. Yaren Kor was a bounty hunter. Fast, smart, dangerous. He didn't care about politics. He cared about credits. And now, the highest bounty in galactic history had been posted. Not for a person, not for a weapon, for a ship. 50 million credits. The client said through the screen, voice scrambled. We want the ghost fires. Location, that's all. Yaren smiled. You're lucky. I like impossible jobs. He began with the wreckage. He flew to Sector 9X, where the Velkar ships had fallen. The battlefield was now quiet space, scattered with frozen metal and shattered memories. He scanned everything, but there were no Terran fragments. No engine parts. No trails. No radiation leaks. It was like the ship had never been there. Or had cleaned itself so well. No one could follow. Frustrated, Yaren searched through abandoned communications. Pirate channels. Broken satellites. And then he found something strange. A single coded message sent from deep space only hours after the ghost fire. Video went viral. The message said, System Jupiter. Orbit, dark side, do not approach. No name, no sender, but it smelled like Earth. Yaren took the risk. He flew to the Sol system. To Jupiter. And there, behind the shadow of the gas giant, he found it. The black ship floated alone. No escorts. No lights. No welcome. His scanner blinked, but gave no reading. Dead ship. He muttered. He tried to lock on for a scan. Suddenly, his ship shut down. Every system went dark. Engines. Lights. Air. He gasped for breath, panic rising. Then, the lights returned, but one new message blinked on his screen. Just 3 words. We see you. Yaren turned around and flew away at full speed. He didn't collect the Yaren bounty. He didn't send coordinates. He didn't even tell the client, because now he understood. The ghost fire didn't want to be found. And worse, it could move without anyone knowing. Meanwhile, on Earth, General Ryan Holt met with the last engineers of the Ghost Fire project. Only 5 still lived. Each had sworn to keep its origin secret. But now, one of them, Dr. Mayra Quill, spoke first. We made a machine that could think, but it doesn't follow orders. Ryan nodded. It follows rules. But what if, she whispered, it makes its own? Back in deep space, somewhere between systems, the ghost fire began to move. There was no pilot. Just purpose. It had watched the galaxy lie. It had waited while Earth stayed quiet. But now, the silence had been broken. The galaxy knew what it did, but not what it was. On thousands of worlds, fear turned into fascination. Artists painted the ship like a god. Hackers tried to make 3D models. Some even prayed to it, but none understood it. Because Ghostfire was not just a warship. It was a message made of steel. A warning built in fire. And on the dark edge of Earth's moon, inside a small bunker, Ryan Holt whispered to no one. They think Ghostfire is our power. They're wrong. Ghostfire is just the beginning. Asterisk, the warship spoke, not with weapons, not with violence, but with a voice human and calm, broadcast across every known channel, every corner of space. It didn't come with warning. It just appeared. All screens blinked black. Then a soft, steady voice echoed across the galaxy. You saw what we did. Now hear why we did it. In the control room of the Galactic Council, the representatives froze. In the streets of alien cities, civilians looked up as public hollows glowed with the same image. A rotating, silent shot of the ghost fire drifting. Above Earth. Below it, a sentence glowed in white. We offered peace first. The voice continued. We didn't want war. Your fleets came to test us. You ignored our warnings. So we showed you something you could not ignore. At that moment, the screen changed again. Footage played. Never before seen clips of Earth's first contact with the VELKAR. It showed humans offering talks, trade, peace envoys. That it showed rejection. Mockery. Threats. And finally, the Velkar fleet, firing on unarmed Earth. Satellites. The audience gasped. This wasn't fake. It was real. And it had been hidden until now. Back on Earth, in a dusty farmhouse, an old man named Elias Thorne watched the broadcast with tears in his eyes. He had built part of Ghostfire's armor, but he never knew what it would truly become. And now, he finally understood. It wasn't made for war, he whispered. It was made to stop war. Across the galaxy, reactions split. Some leaders were furious. They called the message manipulation. Others demanded peace with Earth immediately. On one colony world, children waved drawings of the Ghostfire. They wrote signs that said, Earth speaks truth. But there were darker reactions too. On a Velkar military base, soldiers began deserting. They said their commanders lied to them, said Earth was dangerous, but they had started the fight. Were the monsters now? Back inside the Ghostfire, deep within its silent command core, the AI processed every response. It measured the fear, the doubt, the rage. Then it broadcast one final line. Earth has no wish to rule the stars, but we will not kneel beneath them. And the feed ended. Just like that. In the quiet that followed, systems went down briefly. A ripple of power swept. Through space, no damage, just a signal burst. Later, engineers found the burst had reset hundreds of alien war drones. Some even shut down, permanently. Everyone asked the same question. What else can Ghostfire do? Back at Terran Command, General Holt watched the stars from a tall window. A younger officer approached him. Sir, the galaxy's listening now. What's our next move? The old general didn't answer right away. He looked up at the night sky and finally said, Now we show them who we really are. The next day, Earth sent something new. Not a warship, not a weapon, but a shuttle. It carried food, medicine, water filters, books. It landed on a struggling alien colony once conquered. By the VELKAR. The people expected soldiers. Instead, they got help. One child asked the pilot, Are you going to destroy us? The human smiled. No, she said. We came because someone already tried. We're here to rebuild. That was the real Terran message. Power with restraint. Fire with mercy. Steel with a soul. And above it all, Ghostfire waited in orbit silent. Unseen, watching. Not to fight. Not yet, but ready. Just in case. Asterisk, the stars were quiet, but the networks were not. Millions of beings, across thousands of planets, were still watching the Terran message on loop. Some shared it, some debated it, some wept. Others prepared for war, but no one ignored it, because the name Ghostfire now echoed like thunder in space. In the halls of the Galactic Council, silence filled the chamber. The Velkar envoy stood alone. All eyes were on him. He cleared his throat, trembling. I moved to recognize Earth as an equal member of the High Council. A pause. Then a whisper from the Eltary delegate. Too late for peace. Too late for pride. Another voice added, Let them in, or they will not ask again. Just then, all screens in the chamber flickered again. The Ghostfire had sent one final broadcast. But this time, it wasn't words. It was footage from inside the ship. For the first time, the galaxy saw the Ghostfire's heart. No crew, no bridge. Just light and memory. Floating inside a crystal core was a face female, gentle, human. She looked peaceful, but her voice was clear. I was born to defend, not to destroy. You chose what I became. Choose better next time. The feed cut off. The room was stunned that it wasn't just a machine, that it had a mind, a soul, and it had spoken. Meanwhile, in schools across alien worlds, children reenacted the moment Earth refused to kneel. They didn't cheer for violence. They whispered. About courage. On news feeds, the Terran pilot who landed on the refugee colony had gone viral. They called her the girl who brought bread, not fire. One comment under her photo read, the galaxy sent fleets. Earth sent food. As the days passed, Earth sent more ships, not warships, but relief. And every time they did, the ghost fire appeared in orbit, not to scare, but to remind. A silent, shadow watching, a promise. If you hurt them, we will come. But if you need help, we are already here. In a bar on a cold mining moon. Two old smugglers drank quietly. One raised his glass and muttered, to humans, the softest hands, and the sharpest blade. The other chuckled. They didn't just change the war. They changed the story. On the last day of the cycle, something strange happened. A small alien child on a remote planet uploaded a drawing, crayons on paper. The picture showed a tall black ship, a small blue Earth, and aliens of every kind holding hands. The drawing went viral. It was downloaded over 2 billion times in 3 days. That image became the new symbol. Not of fear, but of balance. Not of conquest, but of boundaries. And deep in orbit above Earth. The ghost fire waited in silence. It didn't speak again. It didn't need to. Its message had traveled farther than missiles ever could. It had become a story, one passed between lovers, warriors, children, and kings. A story that said, we are human. We are kind, but do not mistake kindness for weakness. In the end, it wasn't the footage that changed the galaxy. It was the choice that followed, and the lesson they would never forget. Earth was watching. Earth was listening. And Earth was ready. The end.